back to my summer job is fishing. This week we're going to take a little look and just talk just briefly about reading a graph. The picture shown shows a mark probably about 45 feet. That's one of the things I look for. It's actually how I hooked this laker. I was finding some bait and finding marks around it. This one here, it was about 21 inches long. Had a pretty good fight. A nice fish for southern Michigan lake. The next picture that's going to pop up is going to show, this is really what I look for most of the time. This is really a bait ball. If you notice, there's two lines that appear to go across. That's where my downriggers are running. So I was running probably a 45, 55, 60 foot on this one. This is a little bit better fish. This fish ended up being 30 inches and was a ton of fun to catch. Now, key to catching and landing large fish like this is once you have them hooked is you need to make sure you have your drag set right so the fish can't run if it needs to. This particular fish wanted to stay down for a long time. I cut this and edited this clip down quite a bit. I probably fought the fish about 15 minutes, maybe a little bit more, and it did not want to come off the bottom. With lake trout, once you can get them above the thermocline, usually they'll tire out a lot quicker and then come to the net pretty fast. But until you get them out of the thermocline, they fight really hard. This fish, a couple different times, I got it up to about 35 feet, and they'd run right back down to the bottom. So a lot of fun, and in a minute you're going to get to see this fish as it comes up. I was actually messing around with my planer board rod. That's why you see a line hanging off the back of the boat, because it had got weeded up when this fish hit, and it was out of the way, so I figured, hey, I'm going to bring it in. You can see him now coming in. He's a dandy. This spring I've been struggling with finding lakers on this particular lake. I did find bait this morning that I caught these fish, and I do a pinwheel through the bait in order to try to find where the fish are at. I also ended up catching a pretty nice smallmouth. This one was about 20 inches. The big laker, I think, set a record for the most rubber baits in its stomach of any fish I've ever caught. I think it may have added a pound to its overall weight. From time to time, I have people ask me what's my favorite way to prepare lake trout. If I'm catching small to medium-sized fish, I will fillet them, debone them, and cook them on the grill. There's nothing better. You can put different kinds of spicing on the top, a little butter, some onions, and just cook it on the grill till the flesh is nice and firm. But if I get a big laker, or if I catch one out of Lake Michigan, they tend to be a little oilier out of Lake Michigan, I like to smoke them. I'm really lucky. My wife's Uncle Ray, gave me a recipe a long time ago for smoking any kind of fish. It works great for trout and salmon, and the recipe will be at the end. But basically, I debone the trout, cut them into nice, probably 2 to 3 inch size chunks, and then you put them in the brine, let them soak in the heat. Uncle Ray always said 24 hours on the nose. I found that 36 hours it works perfect too. So if you get busy, you can do that. Then you put them in the smoker, kind of even them out. I always put the bigger chunks of fish towards the bottom, or down towards that part of the heat, and the smaller pieces up towards the top. Load the smoker up, put it on 180 to 200 degrees, and let it smoke for about 3 to 4 hours. Heavy smoke at first, light smoke at the end. I like using cherry wood on mine, and I come up with some smoked salmon and smoked trout, I guess, that's really good. So the recipe is right at the end. Make sure you copy that down and add it to your list of things to try to do with the catch that you have.